Most Americans wake up in the morning knowing that if they don't do the job, they're going to get fired, right? I'd like for our elected officials to feel exactly the same way.
San Francisco's Board of Education has come under fire on a range of issues in recent months, from its controversial handling of admissions at Lowell High School to its foray into renaming schools. Add to that equation the fact that the city's classrooms, a year into the pandemic, remain shuttered, and parents like Shiva Raj and Autumn Loyan are fed up.
So we'd like to recall the entire school board because they're all jointly responsible for this mess.
But we can't recall all of them right now because...
Yeah, only 3 are eligible to be recalled right now. But we're coming for them too.
Yeah.
Single parents Shiva and Autumn have 5 kids between them. They met in June 2020,
On Tinder.
started dating in July, and by February had hatched a plan to recall 3 members of the SF school board over a shared pan of brownies.
So we were talking about possibly having a recall effort on Valentine's Day. And we had a friend over and she was like, you know, in Japan, that's the day when girls traditionally tell guys like that they have a crush on them and they give them chocolate. And so I'm like, Shiva, I have the biggest crush on you. And he's like, so where's my chocolate? So I went and made some brownies for him because, you know, brownies. And then we started planning the recall effort and like starting to get into it and like, oh, this is real. And we were totally brownie powered for like 3 days.
Their relationship is new, and they're new to San Francisco, having only moved to the city in December. But they're serious about this recall effort, both having stopped work on a tech startup to focus on the recall full-time.
You know, we've been here less than 3 months. What the heck are we doing leading a recall effort? But I think there's no time limit on seeing the problem in the community, saying, I really care about these kids. I don't have to live here for 6 months or a year or 10 years to say, these kids are struggling, someone needs to help them, and be willing to step up and help.
We've launched the recall process and we intend to see this through. Whether they get recalled or not is really up to the people of San Francisco. So if the board wants them not to recall, man, get your act together. Demonstrate to the public here how you can actually run an effective school board. Demonstrate to them that you can bring back kids safely to school. Demonstrate to them that you actually care about our children. And I'm sure they will, respond to that.
Typically, recall efforts are costly, using paid collectors to amass the tens of thousands of pen-on-paper signatures required. The duo is flipping that equation on its head.
We want this to be a parent-led effort, which means that, therefore, we are not taking any big donations. We've capped the donations to $99. We both bootstrap companies, so it's not like we've had a huge amount of venture funding either. So we know how to make things work with practically no cash.
And we want to make it kind of fun, actually.
Exactly.
Which sounds like a weird thing to say for a recall effort, because a recall effort is traditionally kind of like an assassin's job.
Right.
But that's not us. People tell us that the San Francisco politics is like a knife fight in a phone booth, and we're like, you know the saying, bringing a knife to a gunfight? We're bringing a flower.
Exactly.
Tinder, brownies, flowers, they are making it fun. But for Shiva, who grew up poor in India, access to quality education is personal.
Yes! I managed to come out of poverty because of education. When I look back at my life, what I can see is education, a solid education is the best social justice, is the best way we have today to allow every kid an opportunity to build a successful life for themselves.
Shiva's youngest, Rishan, says he's proud of his dad for working on the recall effort, though he admits he doesn't fully understand it.
I don't really know how to explain it, but he tells me that he's like protesting to get schools back open. And then he even made a website to get schools back open.
And does Rishan think schools should reopen?
Yeah, but also not. It's not really changing anything because we're still learning, but not as much.
Nobody's seeing what's happening to our kids here. No one's really seeing how much learning loss they're having. No one's seeing how much mental health issues they're having. So we're running into this wall of indifference continuously from the board. And so we have left with no choice but to recall.